Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit of how I'm doing this process of creating a Clammr of a podcast episode and then getting it onto social media. It's a little bit of a tedious process, but it's not all that hard. So you're going to go to clammr.com, which is right here, and you're going to create an account. It's totally free. So set up your account. Once you do, you'll see your little face and all that stuff right here if you add those things. First thing you're going to do is go to create, which is the screen that I'm on right now. Then you're going to hit podcasts. Then up here, you're going to type in the name of the podcast. We're going to do Anthony Iannarino's podcast, In the Arena. And then we're going to search on iTunes. You see it comes up right here. I'm going to click on it. And now it's going to show the description from iTunes and then all these episodes. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is choose an episode. I'm going to do this one with Martin Lindstrom right down here because I've done everything above this. So I'm going to say add track. Just give it a second. It's going to pull in the track from iTunes, the audio. And you see right here, it is generating the waveform of the entire track. So I usually wait until that whole thing is done. Because if you start trying to do things before that, it can kind of lock up on you or just kind of not work. So just wait a bit. It doesn't take any more than, say, I don't know, less than a minute anyway. It's like 30 seconds. See, it's at 86% right now. So not a big deal. Once that's done, let me describe what's going on here. You're going to be able to pick a 24-second or less clip. And that's everything inside this bright red. You can see more of the track out here, but it won't be included in the clip. So the first thing you can do is you can play the entire file where the cursor is here at the left.
This is Anthony Iannarino, and you're listening to...
See, or you can slide to a different place in the track and begin playing there. So that's what I'm going to do because I'm going to try to find something of value to share. Now, some guidelines on how to find things of value to share. If you do the editing or the show notes on this particular show, you might remember, well, they always ask for a key takeaway at the end or vice versa. That can speed up the process for you a little bit. Now, when you find a selection that you think you want to listen to, use this button down here to listen to just what's inside this preview window. Here we go.
I say safety. What car brand would you think of?
Volvo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, they did not get to that point by coincidence. In 1956, they employed the first safety engineer in the world coming from the Swedish Air Force. And he invented the three-point seatbelt, which he stole from the airplanes. He was the first to develop airbags in the side of the car, the first to...
Okay, see, that's a little too long. And it's, not a bad clip, but it's just too long to fit in my thing. So I'm going to try another one. And I'm basically looking at where pauses are, trying to guess where he may begin new concepts or sentences.
Has been encapsulated into one word, safety. This is not a coincidence they own one word. They've worked hard on it. And you can do the same with...
All right, so this is still about Volvo. I want to go back and see if I can get something of value here.
Ago that in a couple of years from now, they'll have the first crash, 100% crash.
See, and this is where he said you can do the same thing. So I'm hoping I can get that in there.
For our light in the car. And in fact, by the way, I think they came up with a claim a couple of days ago that in a couple of years from now, they'll have the first crash, 100% crash-safe car. But all that has been encapsulated into one word, safety. This is not a coincidence they own one word. They've worked hard on it. And you can do the same with, if I say...
Okay, I see. I want it to say the name Volvo, so I'm looking for maybe where he says that.
They were the first to have 24-hour light in the car. And in fact, by the way...
Okay, I'm going to start there with this clip. And in my title, I'm going to say something about Volvo so people know that's what he's talking about. So here... I'm going to listen to the whole clip again just to make sure.
They were the first to have 24-hour light in the car. And in fact, by the way, I think they came up with a claim a couple of days ago that in a couple of years from now, they'll have the first 100% crash-safe car. But all that has been encapsulated into one word, safety. This is not a coincidence they own one word. They've worked hard on it. And you can do the same with...
Okay, and you can do the same. Is what I want to say. So I'm going to pull this yellow thing over here and just listen to that part.
And you can do the same.
All right, that's good enough. Let me see where it starts.
And they were the first to have.
Okay, and I'm going to pull this over just a little bit so that it doesn't have that double and.
And they were the first to have.
Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to hit crop and review. That's going to pick just that piece. Now I'm going to start just going straight down here. The first thing is I'm going to change this title. All right, so let me come up with something here. And this is your job, is to come up with something appealing, something informative about the clip, and something that will draw people to listen to it. Okay, so Martin Lindstrom on Volvo, one-word slogans, and you. I don't like the and you part, but I can't think of anything else right now. Maybe I could take out the on and put a colon there. And I'm going to change this up a bit. Okay, Martin Lindstrom, Volvo, and your one-word slogan. I'm going to make your in caps. See, and what I'm doing is implying you can have a one-word slogan that's as effective as Volvo's. See, I put in Martin Lindstrom's name because he's a speaker, and also because that's probably a keyword that some people are searching for and will catch attention of people who know who Martin is. So all of that is the first screen here, this preview and post screen for the actual Clammr. And you notice this title down here changed as I changed this. All right. Now, image we don't mess with. We want to leave this image the way it is. And if we were to change it, it would change this square image right here, not this waveform. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go to is linked content. And what we're wanting to do is to connect to the web URL where this episode is. So we're going to go to a different tab in the browser here. I'm already in Anthony's blog. And right here in the search under posts, I'm going to put in Martin Lindstrom. Actually, I'm just going to do Martin, and it'll search for Martin and find Martin Lindstrom. Okay, so there he is. Here on the view, I'm going to open that in a new tab, and I'm going to copy this link right there to that web page. Okay, going back to Clammr, I'm going to replace what's already there, which is a direct link to his media file on Blueberry. I'm going to replace that with the web URL, and make sure you click web URL, because if you leave it on MP3, which is the default, it'll yell at you and say, now you can't put it in because it's not MP3. So make sure you're on web URL. Then we're going to go to the description. Okay. Now you notice it's got a whole lot of stuff in here that you don't need, including the title to the episode, all that. I'm going to delete everything except the title because I might reuse that. Okay, I'm going to go up to this top and start typing some description of this. Now you notice some of the things that I did here. I tied it back into Volvo. This is a description that will be on this Clammr, okay? I tied it back into Volvo. I talked about the concept Martin was talking about, and I left the title of the episode, and then I said, listen to the entire conversation here, and I linked to that same page. Okay, then I'm going to copy all of this, and then I'm going to go down here to the Facebook option, turn it on, and then I'm going to paste that description into the Facebook thing. All right, and this is actually what's going to post to Facebook when we post this. All right, now we're done with everything. We're not going to do it on Twitter. We're going to go to the preview and post window again and hit post Clammr. What this does is it posts this onto Clammr's interface, onto Clammr's directory, so to speak, of all these different Clammrs people have made. It's also going to automatically post it to Facebook because I set it to post to Facebook, and it's integrated to the Podcast Fast Track page. Okay, so I am going to refresh this page to see when this video pops up. I'll probably also get an announcement that it pops up when it's ready. All right, there you go. When you think of Volvo, all right, I'm going to click on it. It's going to open up. Now I'm going to right click, show video URL, and copy that with Control C. Okay, and then I click out of it. Then I go to a different tab here. It's this website, udownload.com. It's actually going to show up just like this. So I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to hit download, and it's going to give me two options, one for normal download and one for high quality download. We just want the normal. We don't need the high quality. So download video in normal quality right there. And I'm downloading this to my computer, and I'm going to name it such that I can remember what video it is. Okay, so Martin Lindstrom, Volvo, and one-word slogans. And save it. Now it's saved to my computer. Now that is the process of creating and saving the video from Clammr. Okay, that video is now going to be used in Hootsuite for the time being to be scheduled out to be posted on Anthony's page, his page, as well as the Podcast Fast Track Twitter page. Okay, we're scheduling these out 2 a day, 7 days a week for the whole month of June 2016, doing an experiment. And that's how the whole thing works. The Hootsuite part, if you've ever used Hootsuite, you know how to do all that. You just have to make sure you schedule it for the right date and time according to the spreadsheet.